I'm going to record now a message in honor of Shabbos. It's a mitzvah Shem Yoel is going to, or Peretz will send out. As usual, I want to give an unbelievable Yasher Koyach to Peretz and to Yoel for taking care of this entire operation. And Baruch Hashem, every day there are more people that are joining us and enjoying the Divrei Elokim Chaim from Chassidus. Just a moment. Okay, my dear friends, a good Shabbos. Today is Rosh Chodesh Iyar. There was a pack of buffaloes that were running, maybe 1,000 buffaloes, and they were running through a brook. There was a shark that attacked one of the buffaloes. The buffalo tried. The buffaloes are huge, but the shark got the buffalo down. He was able to kill the buffalo. The other buffaloes tried to kick him a little bit, but when they saw that the buffalo went down, they looked back. You see, now I'm talking about National Geographic here. They looked back, but that ultimately they run off. And the one buffalo is killed and he's dinner. Then you see a pack of deer. They're running. And you have a tiger sitting quietly with one of its cubs, teaching the cub how you make a kill, how you pray. Pounces on one of the small deers. Doesn't kill it. Gives it a fatal bite and lets it live, and then lets the cub do the job. He's teaching his cub how to pray. Nish shachris min chamayda, but how to pray. The other deer, they look in horror and they take off. That's the difference of a human being and an animal. The Rambam says in the beginning of Hilchas Tainus, a person, there is a tzara, there's a pandemic, and a person says, look, but it is what happened, and Wuhan, it went and it came. The World Health Organization was slow, was quick, was too partial to China. He said, she said. That's the way it happens. Mistakes happen. Each one was interested in their own funding of their own organization. And by the time we turned around to do the right thing, the pandemic spread in the world over. Something that's unprecedented. Or is precedented. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a question of it. When it'll finish, we can do a study and statistics and to study it. The Rambam says 2 words. He says that is derech achazorius. That's cruel. That is cruelty. That is cruel. That's the way animals live. 1 buffalo went down, 2 buffaloes went down, 1 or 2 deers were caught. That's it. They keep on running. An introspective human being thinks about this. What can I do? What can I do to stop this pandemic? As Yidden, the first thing we do is we looked at the Parsha, and there's definitely a very clear message in this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha, Tazria-Metzorah, is all about the story of the tzaras, the leprosy. He has to be in total isolation, and we spoke about this when we did the Siyum and the Hilchas Tzaras 6 or 7 weeks ago, that the Sefarno says that the tzaras is a very catchy disease, and because we're scared that other people should not catch the disease, therefore we say to the Mira that until it clears up, until 2 weeks after the last symptom had finished, I'm obviously a little playing around here with the words, because there's the idea of 1 week or 2 weeks, till the symptoms finish, he has to be b'chutz l'machna, because we don't want him to spread the pandemic. The Rambam brings from Chazal a totally different take. The Rambam says that we see that there was a concept of tzaras, leprosy of the skin, of the in the beard, of the hair, on the clothing, on the house. it wasn't the same type of disease here and there and everywhere. It was Eine Minhage Shalolim, says the Rambam. Oisu Pella Hoya B'Yisrael. Kedei Lazirim Aloshin. This was something that's not a natural phenomenon, like you have today a concept of leprosy and you have medicine to treat leprosy. This was Oisu Pella. Yid Chas V'Shalom, the Lashon Hara, first the walls of his house would change the color, and his clothing would change his color, and his skin would change the color, until he would be separated from everyone. Just like a person who speaks Lashon Hara separates between friends, so he's now separated. Toides Chesed. It's not just a punishment. It's not a punishment. It's to teach a person. So Lashon Hara makes the pandemic. Lashon Hara makes that people should now be sitting in isolation. So what's the antidote to it? The story of Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Baditcheva, one of my best stories. It was Rosh Hashanah, and Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Baditcheva was standing and davening as a shliach tzibur. And when it came to the piyuk l'keil oirech din, and we say the passage, l'koine avodav badin, he turned pale. It looked like Rachmana litzlan, he's not alive any longer. The entire Beis Medrash was silent. You can hear a pin drop. People were worried. Rachmana litzlan, that his neshama had left his body. It didn't look like he was alive any longer. That went on for a short time that seemed like forever for his Talmidim and for the Yidden that were with him. All of a sudden, the color came back to his face, and he yelled out, "Lekoina vodav bedin!" And they went on the davening. After the davening, the Talmidim were together with the Rabbi at the Sudas Yom Tov. They asked Rabbi, "Can we ask what happened today by the Lakel Oirech Din?" Rabbi Yitzchok said, "Something remarkable happened. All of a sudden, I was in heaven, and who do I meet? None other than the Samach Man himself. He's carrying a package. Unbelievable. I've never seen a package like this. Huge. And he's smiling and singing. He tells me, I'm going now to the Kisei HaKoved. Do I have a package of Avedas this year? Unbelievable. Slam dunk, I'm winning this year." All of a sudden, the Sultan sees that there is Sub Sayyid that just did an Aveda. He puts down the bag, and he runs and runs. He flies to get the Aveda, that one Aveda. So while the Samach Mem is not present, says Rabbi Levi Yitzchok, I open the bag and I take out the notes. I want to see what are the Avedas ungeschwollen, such a big bag. What can it be? There's a Yid, he has a business, he lives in the town. He's not honest he's not honest in his business. He befedish cheats his goyish customers. Aveda, so it's also Mederaisa. I believe it says in a punish law. Talk about. I know this man. He has a family of little children. He has to pay malamdim. It's a miracle how he covers his expenses at the end of the month. And the Cossacks that are his customers, they're honest with him? And when a pogrom breaks out, that's honest? Are all the laws fear towards this Yiddish businessman? All of a sudden, that's the whole Aveda, the whole note. The note melts. It melts. Okay, it melted. So I pick up the next one. A Yid, a scoundrel, never comes to shul, never davens. What are you talking about? This guy's a yosim. He knows nothing. He knows a bitter life. He comes to him, kippet to shul, and davens with his whole heart. This Aveda, all of a sudden, it melts. It melts. Another person, he hardly learns any Torah. This person, you know what kind of abuse he went through as a child? He's a firm Jew. That's remarkable. The note dissipates. It doesn't exist anymore. Every single Aveda melts in my hand, says Rabbi Levi Yitzchok, down to the last Aveda. When I finished with the last Aveda, there's nothing left in the bag. The Samach Mem returns, and he sees an empty bag, and I'm standing there. He's no fool. He says, Ganav. The Torah says you have to pay kefil. You have to pay double. So Rabbi Yitzchok says, well, I can't. There's nothing I can do to help you, my dear friend. So he got really angry. He said, the Torah says, V'nim karbig nevasoi. So he grabs me by the beard, and he said, I'm going to sell him. First angel that he sees, I'm selling a slave. Oh, very good. Where is he from? Berdichev. A Yid goes to Berdichev? You know what it means? If you have a slave, you have to protect him? With all that as anti-Semites in Europe? I don't want to have him free of charge. Take him for yourself. Forget it. I don't want to have such a servant. No Malach wants to buy me, says Rabbi Yitzchok. So he says, well, what can we do? We go to the Rabbanu Shalom. It's Day of Judgment. Come to the Rabbanu Shalom, Samach Mem, gives out his arguments. The Rabbanu Shalom says, the Jewish people are my servants already. You can't sell them in slavery or anything. They're my children, and they're my servants. Let go of him. Rabbi Yitzchok now understood that when we're the Eibishter servants, when the Eibishter acquires us bedin, that's how we win the din. Because we're his servants, no one can touch us. Very, very deep message in the story. Obviously, like every Chassidish story, there's many, many points to it. But to me, the main message here is this. There is a scene about on Sunday. There was a Yid that called up with a Shaila that he's having very bad dreams. So we did what the Gemara says in the end of Brachos, and Shulchan Aruch says in Simarei Shchof in Oirach Chaim. We did Atavas Chaloim. In general, the Yidden are in Golos. The Golos is a Cholim. We have to do Atavas Cholim for this Cholim. So many Yidden stayed on after the Shir, and we did that Atavas Chaloim. But while we were doing it, we were discussing about the Chaloim. The Rashba says that, well, how does it work that a person says, I had a bad dream, and you didn't tell him it's good, that it works? The Alter Rebbe adds it has to be 3 friends, at least 3 people. Why does it have to be friends? So we spoke about this. The Rashba says, that the Gemara says, why is the bracha of a simpleton important? Because when a Jew says something, it has very strong power. When a Jew tells me I had a bad dream and I love him and I tell him it's a good dream, it becomes a good dream. It's sweetened, atova. Hatovas chaloim. It becomes toiv. It becomes toiv ameitiv. It becomes the best of the best. That's why the Rashba says, Lo techal al chayda. She's deaf. He can't hear. So what will happen if you curse him? Not allowed to. The Rebbe explains an unbelievable biur of a sicha. The Gemara says in Erech, that there is lashon hara, the language that kills 3 people. The person that spoke, the person that listens, and the person they spoke the lashon hara about. So the question is, the person that speaks lashon hara, he did a terrible sin, so he gets punished. The person that listened to the lashon hara, terrible sin, so he gets punished. But the person that they spoke lashon hara about, what did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? So the Rebbe, he did nothing wrong, but that's just the nature. If Achman al-Atzlan, someone shoots someone, kills him, what did he do wrong? But on the face of it, he did nothing wrong, but he was killed. Achman al-Atzlan. Speaking has an unbelievable power. The Eibusha created the world through speech. When a person speaks, the idea of speech brings mina helam el agilui. Something that's concealed becomes revealed. If you want to see the maximum out of your child, what do? You hone into their milus, to their strength, and you keep on complimenting them on what they are good at. Wow. That was unbelievable. That piece that you just played on your guitar and your fiddle, that's unbelievable. Because you know that they're good. So you want to compliment them on this. Your memory is phenomenal. Your math is gewaldic. You're not going to tell a kid that's having a hard time in math, wow, Your math skills are unbelievable. Whatever, math. We all have today a calculator right here, you tell them. But the pictures you make, unbelievable. They're the nicest pictures. Da Vinci couldn't make a picture like this. Rembrandt was trying to copy you. I love your pictures. Your poems are terrific. You're not going to tell it to a kid that doesn't know how to put together a poem, but a kid that's a linguist and is always playing with their, like one of our little kids. She was so small. She loved language. So what is this? She was so young. What is this? So my wife was making a batter for chocolate cake. So this is a batter. Is the batter better than batter, or the batter is gooder than gooder? So till today we taunt her about the batter. Is the batter better than batter, or the batter is better than gooder, or gooder than gooder? So if you know that your child has a certain mila, you hone in on it, and you compliment them, and you keep on complimenting them till you bring out the mila and you maximize their mila. So when a person talks about the chisonon of a person, it brings out their chisonon, Rahman al-Islam. It can break them. It could kill them, Rahman al-Islam. Unfortunately, we have people that consider themselves educators that are in our school, that Rahman al-Islam, are killing our children. That they don't believe, they don't belong there. The frashk is a half a problem, but when you talk to a kid, you could destroy a kid or build up a kid. And it's not only when the person is present. The chidush here is that even when the person is not present, when you speak Lashon Hara, you bring out what was hidden. He has hidden, like a human being. It's a mixed bag. He has inequities too. He has strengths as well. If you speak about his strengths, that's what you bring out to the fore. If you talk about his shortcomings, that's what you bring out. You're killing him. So what's the antidote to that? To Lashon Hara is Lashon Tov, like Rabbi Yitzchok Bedicheva did. Every Aveda melted in his hand. Because when he was Malamet Chus on the Yid, Segavaran Ois Aveda, he brought out the Mila in the Yid that's so much stronger that it just dissipated. It was like smoke. It went out. It was not there anymore. That is the job of a Yid in the days of Sfiras Ayma in general, Avas Chinam, and specifically this week when we're reading about the Metzorah. So the antidote for the Metzorah is that he should sit in quarantine and start training himself. Aishenira kolecho de malas chaveyenu. Hoy aderabe. Teim belibeinu shenira kolechod. Hoy malas chaveyenu. Veloy chisro boinoi. Rabbanu Shalom. Put it in our heart that we should see the mile of every single Yid, never the chisaron. When we speak about our friends, we should always talk the Lashon Tov. So we'll bring out the good that's in them. And never chas v'shalom should we see any bad, any chisaron. And therefore we will never talk about it. That is the antidote for Lashon Hara, Lashon Tov. And that is the job of the Metzorah. The whole world is in one big tzaras right now, Bodad Yeshiv. Everyone is in quarantine. And that's a job. The Chazal say that there's ein lacha lamayla me'oinig ve'ein lamata me'nega. There isn't greater than pleasure, and there isn't worse than a nega, a pandemic. The letters are the same, and we have to twist them around. From the nega, we have to turn it into oinig. And indeed, the Gemara says in the end of Sanhedrin that Mashiach Tzedkein is called Chivre de Rebbe, the Metzorah of Rebbe, of the house of Rebbe. Metzorah would seem to be a negative. But we turn the tzaras from a negative into a positive. When we spend this time and we focus on this adarab. Aitem belibeinu shenira kolecho de malas chavereyenu. We should see the mila in every one of our friends, all the people around us, all the Yidden that would give each other basement we should see each other's mila, the unbelievable mila that's there in every Yid. and never, ever, ever see the chisaron. And we should talk about the mile of every yid, to bring out the mile of every yid. And when we do that, that's the antidote to the tzaras. That's the healing of the tzaras. The healing of tzaras, Loshen Toiv heals the Loshen Hora. And that's our job this week. That's the order of the day. Like the Rabbi used to say, if you remember in the rallies, I used to, as a child, grew up with the rallies, the order of the day. The order of the day, the marching orders this week from the commander-in-chief, the Rebbeinu Shalom and Pashas Tazria-Metzorah, that in order to heal the world, we have to have the antidote for Loshen Hora is Loshen Toiv. The Eibusher shall helfen that this Chodesh Iyar, that there should be a geula and a refuah to the world. As we spoke earlier, that even though Iyar has two Rosh Tovas, Iyar is with one Yud Ani Hashem Reifecha. But then the question is that, but in the get we spell Iyar with two Yuds, Aleph Yud Yud Reish. And the Sunday share we had three answers from the Minchas Haluza, from the Chassam Sofer, from the Rebbe, and these were very, very deep answers and a lot of mathematics as well. But the simple answer I would say is like this: When zwei Yidelach kommen zusammen, two Yidden, when two Yidden come together, especially as a commitment to be Avraham, Yitzchok, Yaakov, Rochel, Makova for the Eibishter, to get together to help another Yid to find him a job and a parnosa, to help him find the mitzvah Shem a good shidduch and so on, help him whatever he needs. When zwei Yidelach kommen zusammen, that's when you have Ani Hashem Roifech. The Eibishter will helfen that Adarabah Teimbali Beinu Shenire Chol Echa the Malas Chavereinu. We should talk to Loshen Toivim every Yid. Should bring out the mile of every Yid, and the two Yidalach will get together. And amidst Hashem, that we should be zoiche to have Ani Hashem Reifecha, the refuah and geula for every Yid, and the refuah and geula of Klal Yisrael bevias Mashiach Tzidkenu. A good Shabbos, dear friends.
Amen. A good Shabbos.
A good Shabbos, Bench. A good Shabbos, Peretz. A good Shabbos. To everyone that joined us, a good Shabbos, Ari. A good Glickelchen Shabbos.
Amen.
Amen.